All right, Shalom. And first and foremost, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. This tells one another GMS fruit of knowledge slash motivation. GMS motivation, which is another channel. And today's motivation is basically proving the tribes because what's going on is that you got certain guys, in particular, one guy by the name of Yashar. Well, I ain't gonna pop the guy's picture up and nothing like that. You brothers who's in the know knows who these guys are. Um, there, certain people are trying to discredit the 12 tribe sign. You know, saying that is High Priest Ariak wrong about the sign and things of that nature. So I'm just go into some scriptures. I'm gonna deal with the tribe of Zebulun. Okay, the tribe of Zebulun doesn't get talked about much, outside of Judah. Benji gets talked about a lot. Levi. Um, who else gets talked about? Obviously Issachar and Ephraim. Um, Gad. You know, I just want to touch on Zebulun real quick. And just go through the prophecy of him, and then a couple articles. Just showing that they are a part of the tribes. It's not, Lord willing, is something edifying. I pray Yahweh that it is edifying to you, Akim, on the source or the information I'm going to put out. Okay, so no further ado, let's just get into the prophecy real quick on the tribe of Zebulun. And this is Genesis 49:13. It says, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Now, I want to mainly focus on the dwelling in the haven of the sea. Okay, you see I got the blue lighter up. Because when you go into the map, um, well, this is the place where Zebulun lives, which we know the Zebulonites are, through the Spirit, are the Panamanians. Okay, Panama to Guatemala, and this is that land port. Okay, they call it what's the name that they call it? It starts with an I. In my paper. Where is it at? Ith, ith, Isthmus, I, Isthmus, something like that. Let me just pull it up. So like, yeah, I know how to say it, but it's kind of spelled kind of weird. Okay, let me spell it. ISTH. Oh, here it is. See, I looked it up not too long ago. Let's see. Okay, Isthmus. And it says a narrow strip of land which sea on either side, with sea on either side, body of water, forming a link between two large areas of land, a narrow Oregon passage or piece of. Okay, that's not it. We're just dealing with this part right here. Let me see, enhance it, just to see if I can, sisters can see it. There we go. So Isthmus, it says a narrow strip of land with sea on either side, forming a link between two larger areas of land. Now this is Panama, Guatemala, all this area. You got Costa Rica. And this is where the Zebulun lives. Zebulun dwells in this area, in this region. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some scriptures where obviously I'm gonna recap over how they got there. Okay, which we all know that. I'm just gonna go through it, go through it again. But a narrow strip of land. Now, when you go into the what you call it, the blue letter, the scriptures, Genesis 49:13, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall dwell for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Now you go to the word. Shit. using this mouse. It's kind of okay with the Hebrew word. Chawap, if I'm not mistaken. It says a seashore, a coast, or a shore. So it says they're going to be a haven of ships, a seashore, coast, or shore. And that's what this basically is right here. Okay? Let's see if I can blow this up one more time. History and ethnic relations. Here we go. Okay. So we got that understood. Now to show how these guys say that they're not a part of the tribes that are some of the Northern Kingdom and all that mishap. I'm gonna read this a little bit, but I did a lesson maybe a year and a half ago. As you can see, you Akims can get on obviously on my channel now. Get on the channel, and it says the title is "How Did the Latinos and Native Americans get to America?" More proof. It says more proof the Bible is the truth. I originally made this lesson dealing with the black conscious. Okay, when the black so it may be longer than that. Yeah, it's 2016 now, about to be 17. So this is almost going on 3 years ago actually, because the date is January 5th, 2014. So we're in December. Well, you can say we're in January 2017. So that's going on roughly three years ago, coming up soon. Okay. So I originally made it for, proving that the descriptions is accurate, dealing with the black conscious. But you got to do that again with guys who even claim they're Israelites, man. It's fucked up, you know. But I'm not gonna play the video. I just want to read out this passage. Now the book is the medieval empire of the Israelites. And I'm gonna go to the front of the book real quick. Let's see, here it is. It's like it. So the medieval empire of the Israelites. So that's the name of the book. Okay, you brothers can, if you don't have it, you can go ahead and get it. If needs be. Okay, now let me just go to what I wanted to just read off. I'm not gonna play it because I didn't play it. I didn't read it Slacky in the video. No ways, but it's a point that I wanted to show. It says along the slab was found a long stone. Slacky, I don't remember the page number of it. I have the book, but the book is in storage. I was in the process of moving, so everything is still in storage right now. But it says along the slab, and if you go back through the video, I believe I mentioned the page number in the video. But it says along the slab was found a long stone in the shape which resembles a brick with an engraving of a ship. And this is talking about the Native Americans who came over here on the ships. Let me backtrack just a little bit. So this still was here I was explaining that the Native Americans had it says Jewish names, but we understand what that's talking about, which Abraham, David, Moses, of the scriptures, and they had stone tablets that had the Ten Commandments on it. Now you watched the show Glenn Beck that he did a couple of years back. He actually went into that. Okay, and I actually have that queued up. Glenn Beck here, which I'll put that video in the description box as well as this lesson for you brothers to see it. Because when you think about the Northern Kingdom, you can't just rule out the Zebulonites. Who else? Asher, okay, because they all came together, and they was amongst each other because they all came together from the ships, from the other side of the world before they came to Canaan, which was known as Canaan, which is America. The scriptures in Second Ezra call it Asarus, if I'm pronouncing that right. But so here is a frame where it says Abraham, David, Moses, and so forth. This is the names that they was given the Israelites. I mean, the so-called Native Americans and um, Asher, okay, which is the Argentinian tribe, which it says it right here. An Argentinian tribe where a stone slab with 3 commandments was found causes no less doubt. Do not steal, do not lie, do not kill. So that's what was found on the stones. The Argentinian tribe, but we know who that is today through the Spirit on the 12 tribe chart, is Asher. You see that? So this ain't going into Gad or Reuben, which is the so-called Native Americans in the Seminole. Okay, this is talking about Asher. Okay, so they had those names, and as well as had the 10 Commandments. Okay, now here is what I just wanted to point out. It says along the slab was found a long stone in a shape which resembles a brick with an engraving of a ship. The emblem of the um, it says the emblem of the Zebulon tribe. It says Valun tribe, but we know that's the tribe of Zebulon. Okay, so they even had the names written on some of the ships on what tribe or who belonged to who. Okay, so that's proof right there in itself. Okay, but but now let me go back to here because it says Genesis. Okay, I'm in the word. Here we go. Genesis. So now let me go up. Satan. There we go. Genesis 49:13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the ship, haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships. Okay. So now when you go to Panama, which through the Spirit, High Priest Ariel identified the Zebulonites as Panama, as the Panamanians. Okay, from Panama to Guatemala. It says this is going backwards on Wikipedia, Panama. Okay, and I'm under harbors. I went directly to harbors just for the simple fact of the scriptures. Okay, it says that they're going to be at the haven of the sea, which is this image right here. It says the Caribbean coastlines is marked by several good natural harbors. However, Cristobal, which is who? Cristobal Colon, which is Christopher Columbus, but this is actually the land mass. The scriptures tell you, and that's another thing, proving the scriptures, because the scriptures tell you that they think that they can continue the house forever, and they leave their names on the land. Okay, which is that's in Psalms. I'm gonna get it real quick. Get the right quote. Here we go. Psalms 49:11. It says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." So this land was conquered by the Spaniards, the Spanish that came over here and colonized the tribes into to Catholics, because that's one of the main how do you call it beliefs down that way. Okay, it says the Caribbean coastlines is marked by several good natural harbors. However, Cristobal at the Caribbean terminus of the canal had the only import facilities in the late 1980s. The numerous islands of that's one of them Spanish words. Archipelago de Bocas de Toro. It says near the beaches of Costa Rica, provided an extensive natural roadstead in 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 shield the banana port of Almarit, because what they were selling, and see, in that part of the land is heavy into a lot of traffic, obviously ship traffic. Okay, ship traffic, and one of the products that they serve or distribute is banana. But when you go to the scriptures tell you that where they're going to be dwelling, and not only the scriptures, the proof of it. Genesis 49:13, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, because they have one of the largest ship import and export over there in that area. When you read about the Panamanians, okay. Now let me go. I just wanted to read that little part right there. Let me go to culture of Panama, which is what I showed in the beginning. So, like I said, this is where the tribes live right here, okay. And that word isthmus describe this landmark. Now it says, let's see here, history and ethnic relations. It says Panama became an autonomous nation because of its function as the coastadine of the Trans-Isthmus shipping route, the path between the seas. So they even named it the path between the seas. Going to the scripture, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea. So if you spiritual, you can understand the connection. Okay? It says it gained independence in 1903 as a part of American sponsored revolt against Colombia that led to the signing of the treaty granting the United States the right to build the Panama Canal, which we know a little bit about that. It says the Spanish discovered and conquered Panama between 1502 and 1519. At that time, it was referred to the Castilla de Oro, a source of gold and potentially converts. From 1519 through 1538, the area that is now Panama was a base of soldiers sent to conquer the Andean civilizations in South America. After 1538, it was used as a land route to the Spain South American colonies and transshipment point of Adian gold. From 1568 to 1671, there was a series of pirate raids, and in 1671, Panama City was sacked by buccaneers under command. Okay, it's just give a little history about what they was going through their independence. So I'm gonna put this in the description box as well. Brothers can know a little bit about the tribes and what your brothers went through, basically. But one key point that I really found intriguing was what they called it. They called it the path between the seas. Going to the scriptures, here you go. I don't know why I just jumped off of it. Genesis 49:13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the seas, and he shall be for an haven of ships, because they had a lot of good trafficking until this day. Okay, so I read that. This is out the book of the medieval empire of the Israelites. It told you that the natives, so-called Native Americans, and those various tribes, they even had the tribe of Zebulun, okay, and printed on a boat, on a ship, So that's even more proof, okay. So let me just get into some scriptures real quick, and then I'm gonna close the lesson. It wasn't gonna be nothing long. Through the Spirit, how about Shemal Shai? I hope and pray that this was a little bit of edifying, just a little points here and there. This is 2 Kings 17:4. It says, in the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, For he sent messengers. Let me just get straight to the point. Lord. I'll just start from verse 6. In the ninth year, 2 Kings 17:6. It's a little bigger. It says in the ninth year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in the harbor by the river of Gazan and in the cities of the Medes. Samaria was where the northern kingdom was located at. Once you read the scriptures, you'll know that. Verse 7 says, For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other powers, or feared other gods. It says, and walked in the statue of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel and the kings of Israel, which they had made. So the purpose of Israel being kicked out, it was only to fulfill, prophecy for them to get to America, which this is the rest of that story. This is 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, which is Hoshea the king, who Salmanazar, the king of Assyria, which we just read, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land, which is true. It says, but they took this counsel among themselves, which is the 10 tribes, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. And that land where never mankind dwelt was over here in what is known as the New World or America. Now, when you go into the scriptures in Kings, it tells you how King Solomon sent his ships out to the land of Canaan. But the key point is, when you read it, it says where never mankind dwelt. So the tribes knew about Canaan, or knew about that land. Like, they call it Arsareth. They knew about that land. Just men never dwelt there. Okay, King Solomon was sending his ships there. They was bringing goods back from that land. Okay, so it says they might keep their statues which they never kept in their own land. And it goes to this book. It explains how the Argentinians, the so-called Argentinians, okay, and the other tribes, they came over here to keep their customs. See, I got the scripture, Exodus 25 and 31, and that's the menorah. Okay, that's a scripture about the menorah, and you find out that they were actually keeping the customs over there. The seven-pointed candlestick. It says, and they talked about the Passover. You see, when you read the book, they talk about that they were keeping the Passover. They were had the laws. They had the laws written down on stones. They even had the tribes' names written down on certain ships. They had the same names. Abraham, Moshe. Moses. It says what else? It says an Argentinian tribe where a stone slab with 3 commandments was found, causes no less interest. Do not steal, do not lie, do not kill. Let me go back. It says 42, 2nd Ezra 13 and 42, that they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land, because they sinned against the Most High. Okay, so the Lord kicked them out. When they came over here, they said, we're going to continue doing our customs. Okay, let me keep going. It says, and they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river, for the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed. So it was a spiritual reason why they came over here. Okay, this is the proof that the Zebulonites and the whole northern kingdom is a part of the nation of Israel. You know, it says, "For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Assyria." So I want to make another point of a year and a half. So it told you that it took them a year and a half to get over there. So that's a long time to be on the sea. But Yahweh Shemashai was with them. Okay, so a year and a half. It's like in First Kings 10 and 22. It says, "For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Haram." And that king is talking about King Solomon. "Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver and ivory and apes and peacocks." So King Solomon was exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and wisdom. So this is when they were coming over here to the land of Canaan. It said once in 3 years they were bringing things, because it took a half a year, a year and a half to get there. Okay, and get their collect the goods, the items, the what it just named off, the gold, the silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. It took a year and a half to get there, and a year and a half to get back. That's 3 years. That's why the scripture says, "For the king had a navy of Tarshish with the navy Haram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish." Tarshish. Once in 3 years. This tells you that it took them a year and a half. So they knew where to go. Okay? Let's see what else I can cover. Um, yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to show through the spirit. Um, One key point that I always like to mention, and it's like how the Lord let certain things happen and put phrases, using certain phrases for these people so we can identify. And this is one of the phrases that helped me identify even more, or any other reader or researcher. It says path between the seas. When you spiritually connect that, it says Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and that's the name of what the Panamanians go by. Their uh, their shipping route. They called the shipping route was coined the phrase "path between the seas." So through the spirit, only way to identify one of the tribes would be Zebulun. You know. So that's pretty much it that I want to show. Like I said, I'm gonna put a couple of videos. I'll put this video in the description box. I'll put the articles in the description box as well, and then the Glenn Beck video as well. Okay, so with that, that's the tribe of Zebulun. The motivation of the tribe of Zebulun, just proven, through this video about Shemel Shai, that this came to pass. One second, it was something else that I want to read. Verse 46, because this is the key point. "Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come." And where they at the latter time? They're still here. Okay? They're still here. And they came. And this is where the tribes are going to get picked up. The elect of them are going to get picked up. So I'm going to get picked up from here. It tells you Slovakia. Revelation 7, 12,000. I just want to get straight to it. Zebulun. Revelation 7 and 8, out of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. So that's just not over here in this land, obviously. It's all around, wherever they at, because we're Israel, sand of the sea. We were everywhere. But this is the predominant place, where this particular tribe is at through the spirit, okay, because of the prophecy, okay, in this prophecy here, okay, shall dwell at the haven of the ship Zebulon. So, hey, with that, like I said, Lord willing, this was a little edifying to the body, okay. Davon to the Apostle Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim on the four corners of the earth. Tazawam with another GMS Fruit of Knowledge / GMS Motivation. The tribe of Zebulon. Death to the 2/3. Shalom.